Late breaking. You're watching KMAC. Today, it's Texas Tech and Kansas State. And for the keys to the game, this is KMAC Red Raider Nation's Countdown to Kickoff. Sponsored by Covenant Medical Group Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
Good morning and welcome into Red Raider Nation's Countdown to Kickoff, where we have reached the end of the home schedule. Texas Tech hosts Kansas State later tonight at 6 o'clock at Jones AT&T Stadium. So for the next half hour, we get you ready for the Red Raiders meeting with the Wildcats. Coming up, we hear from a couple of seniors as they prepare to play their final game ever at Jones Stadium. Also ahead, closer look at the problems this Kansas State team will pose for that Red Raider defense. And later, Ryan Hyatt joins us for his thoughts on tonight's matchup in the final call. But right now, let's bring in our buddy Eric Kelly. Pretty simple math here. We're not math majors here, Eric, but I think we can figure this one out. We need to win 2 games to make a bowl. You got 2 games left, right? It's pretty simple stuff.
Yeah, even I followed that, and that's a big thing, David. Now or never time for the Texas Tech football team in terms of earning that bowl berth. Obviously had a chance to make a major step towards the postseason on Saturday against TCU, last Saturday that was. Instead, another single-digit loss, this time by 2 to the Horned Frogs, now seen at 4-6. Obviously, you need to reach that 6-6 plateau, but just because the margin of error is thinner doesn't mean the sense of urgency is any lesser or stronger.
I think our sense of urgency was good. I think it has been. We went to West Virginia knowing we had our back against the wall. We had to win that one, and we did. We needed to win last week. We did. We absolutely need to win now. There's no question. There's 2 left. We need to be 2-0. We all know that. But I don't look at and point a finger to, oh, we didn't have a sense of urgency last week. No way.
Eric, the Wildcats come to town with a new head coach in Chris Kleiman, but very similar feel to the old Bill Snyder-led Wildcat teams we've become accustomed to. K-State 5th in the nation in time of possession. They're 38th in rush offense, averaging just under 200 yards a game.
You know, they're going to play some big boy ball, and they're very physical. They're going to run the ball, and they're going to play action shot you. And then they're going to put the ball in the hands of that quarterback, and I would too. I don't know how that compares to the way they did it before, except Colin Klein carrying it 25 times a game, right? Yeah, and he's still on staff.
And you heard Matt Wells talking there about Colin Klein. Wildcats with another dangerous dual-threat quarterback leading the offense this season. Skylar Thompson, 1,800 yards through the air, only 350 on the ground. So the rushing yards obviously don't jump out at you, but when he does run, he tends to find the end zone. 10 touchdowns on the ground, 10 through the air. Red Raiders have struggled keeping those types of guys in the pocket this week. No easier.
We've certainly seen a ton of really talented dual-threat kids. Skylar's no different. He's tough. He's accurate with the ball. He can beat you with his feet. I think he's sneaky quick out on the edge. And you know, we just got hurt by that. And so I'm sure he'll be excited to play against us. We need to play better against this kid.
Defense needs to play better between the 20s. The Horned Frogs piled up a good chunk of their 549 yards there. Now the red zone defense able to hold their own at times, at least, forcing the Frogs to 4 field goals last week. TCU ranked 7th in the nation in red zone offense. K-State comes to town ranked 6th, scoring 41 of their 43 trips to the red zone, and 31 of those trips resulting in touchdowns.
It's one of our goals on defense, and it's in the blueprint on, you know, how to play red zone defense and how important it is. Our guys have kind of taken, I think, some pride in that, a little bit of back against the wall. We've played well. We forced field goals, gotten a turnover a week ago or a couple weeks ago in the red zone, but we've played well.
Big news, though, for that defense. Jordan Brooks came out against TCU, so we don't know whether or not he will or won't play. It'll probably be a game-time decision. So if he doesn't play, the big question next, obviously, is who kind of steps up in that role on the defense.
Now, I think the simplest answer in this whole equation has got to be another linebacker, Enrico Jeffers. We saw how much the team struggled, even with Jordan Brooks in there, not healthy. against the Horned Frogs last week and the ability to run the ball with the quarterback. And I think we just talked about Skylar Thompson. He may have 10 touchdowns through the air, but I think the thing that scares you the most with him at quarterback is his ability to run. And he's not a freshman like Max Dugan was last week. He's got the wily veteran that can find holes in the defense. So Rico Jeffers has got to step up and keep an eye on the running quarterback if the Red Raiders want to avoid another home loss, in my opinion.
And that's a good one. Obviously, the place you're tending to go, and for obvious reasons, is the linebacker. But I'm going to stay in that same type of class. Senior, you think about Broderick Washington, he's an important one. How about Doug Coleman? Similar in terms of vocal, we don't see it all the time off the field, but on the field, he's as much of a vocal leader as anyone. And not only does his voice speak, but his play has so far. You think Brooks was that midseason All-American, but semifinalist. Coleman has kind of been the same way in the secondary. And so if you can't get pressure on the quarterback, obviously with Brooks missing, what do you got to do? Well, you got to be good in the secondary. A lot of times Texas Tech hasn't been good in that area, so it'll be key for Coleman to kind of step up and be better, as hard as it is to believe, in the secondary for them to have that type of success, especially against a guy like Skylar Thompson, as we talked about.
Yeah, one guy they certainly probably could use is a guy that was inducted into the Texas Tech Hall of Fame last night here in Lubbock, Texas. We'll have more on that coming up. Time for a break here on Red Raider Nation Countdown to Kickoff. When we return, more on the final home game for 16 Red Raider seniors.
Also, we bring out whiteboards once again to break down today's matchup with another edition of Board Games.